Physics class 11 chapter 8 gravitation. In the last class we have studied three laws of Kepler. Today we shall study the universal law of gravitation. Let us first read the statement. The statement of the law of gravitation is every body in the universe attracts every other body with a force which is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So we know that every body in the universe will attract every other body with an attractive force, right? And that force is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. Suppose you have got the two masses m1 and m2, and the distance between the two mass m1 and m2 is suppose r. Then mathematically the law can be written as magnitude of F proportional to the product of the masses, so m1 into m2, divide by, it is inversely proportional, that is divide by the square of the distance. So I take the distance between the two masses r, then the square of the distance is r square. So when you remove the proportionality symbol, you can put the constant of proportionality. So magnitude of F equal to G m1 m2 divided by r square, where G is called universal gravitational constant. Its value is 6.67 into 10 power minus 11 Newton meter square per kg. Newton's reasoning was that the moon, revolving in an orbit of radius rm, was subject to a centripetal acceleration due to Earth's gravity. Now we have studied that if any object is revolving in an orbit of some radius r, then there is a centripetal force, and the object which is moving in a circular motion will have the centripetal acceleration, and it is given by a is equal to v square by the radius. Okay, so now the Newton said that the moon is revolving in an orbit of suppose radius rm, then it is also subjected to centripetal acceleration, and that acceleration we can say that it is am equal to v square by rm. Rm is the radius, okay, radius of the moon's orbit, okay, and v is the speed of moon in time period t, okay, and this acceleration is centripetal acceleration is due to the Earth's gravity. So and the value of v, the speed v is given as 2 pi rm by capital T, okay, v equal to 2 pi rm by t. T is the time period, right? Time period for the moon to complete one revolution, that is about 27.3 days, and rm value is 3.84 into 10 power 8 meter. Now if we put the v value from here in this place, then you get am equal to v square, so 2 pi rm by t whole square into this 1 by rm, I am writing here 1 by rm, equal to the square root, so 2 square is 4, pi square t square rm square, but 1 rm will cancel, so you get only 1 rm in the numerator. Now if you put the numerical values, okay, substituting all the numerical values, then we get the value of am as 0.00272, and this is very less than g. This is a gravity acceleration due to gravity, okay, that is on the surface of the earth, given as 9.8 meter per second square. So this acceleration, centripetal acceleration, is very small than g, the acceleration due to gravity. That is am, this value is very less than acceleration due to gravity g on the surface of the earth. The force due to Earth's gravity decreases with distance. Now as you go away from the earth, then the gravity decreases as you go away, okay, so the force due to the Earth's gravity will decrease as you go away or as the distance increases, okay, so the force due to the Earth's gravity will decrease with the distance. Therefore assume that gravitational force due to the earth decreases in proportional to the inverse square of the distance from the center of the earth. Since we can we say that the force due to the earth's gravitation or due to earth gravity is decreases with distance, so we can assume that suppose the gravitational force is due to the earth decreases in proportional to the inverse square of the distance from the center of the earth, then we can say that am is proportional to 1 by rm square, is to g is proportional to 1 by r square. Okay, now we take the ratio, so g by am equal to this by t, so 1 by r square divided by 1 by rm square. this Rm square will go up and R square will come in the denominator. Okay, so now we know that Rm value, we know Rm value is 3.84 into 8 10 power 8 meter, and Re, that is the radius of the earth, and that value is 6400 into 10 power 3. Now let us put the value. Okay, so we place the value. So G by Am equal to Rm value is this one, 3.84 into 10 power 8, and Re value is this one, 6400 into 10 power 3 whole power 2. If you simplify this value, you get as a 3600. Okay, when you simplify this value after placing the value of Rm and Re, okay, it is a square, both are square, so I have taken square outside. So after placing the value, if you simplify, this answer you get as 3600. In agreement with value of G equal to 9.8 meter per second square and value of Am, led Newton to propose the universal law of gravitation. So this helped Newton to propose or give the universal law of gravitation, which we read in the beginning, that every body in the universe attracts every other body with a force which is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. Now we shall write the gravitational law in a vector form. So vector F equal to G m1 m2 divided by r square and minus r cap equal to, this minus you can bring here, so minus G m1 m2 r square r cap. Why r cap? This is a unit vector. Okay, r cap is a unit vector from m1 to m2. It is connecting m1 and m2, two masses, right? So it is towards the between the masses. That means that is a unit vector, you can say like between the distances. Okay, so this r cap is a unit vector from m1 to m2, and r can be written as r2 minus r1. Okay, this is a vector form. Okay, you can look in the figure. In this figure you can see that there are 2 point masses m1 and m2. Okay, this is m1 and m2. This is the origin O. With respect to O, the position vector of m1 is r1 vector, and for m2 is r2 vector. Okay, this is directed towards this side, this is directed towards this side, and m1 to m2. So if this direction is like this towards this side, m1 to m2, then if you apply the triangle law of vector addition in this triangle, okay, O m1 m2, in this triangle if you apply, then you can say that r1 plus r equal to r2. In other words, r equal to r2 minus r1. Okay, see I have written here r equal to r2 minus r1. Just applying the triangle law of vector addition, you can say r equal to r2 minus r1. Okay, so that is the value I have written directly over here. Gravitational force is attractive force. Okay, we know that gravitational force is attractive force. That is, vector F is along negative vector r. Okay, so that means, see, this is, if you consider from here, then it will be away in opposite direction. Okay, m2 will have the force because of m1, and m1 will have force because of m2, and they will be in opposite direction. Okay, so that is we can say that it is attractive force, that's why it is negative force. The gravitational force F12 on the body 1 due to 2. Okay, so F12, another symbol we use as this can be said that the force on 1 due to 2. Okay, on the body 1 due to 2, and F21, that is the force on the body 2 due to 1, are related as F12 equal to minus of F21, because they are attractive force, so they are equal in magnitude but opposite direction, right? One is like because of this side, one will be towards this side, and because of this, one will be this side, so they will be in opposite direction. Therefore the force which is given, F12 equal to F21, they are equal but opposite in nature, opposite in direction, so one is negative. Okay, so that is what the relation between the force because of on 1, body 1 due to 2, and body 2 due to 1. Okay, so they are related as the relation F12 equal to minus of F21. Example 8.2. 3 equal masses of mkg each are fixed at the vertices of an equilateral triangle ABC. Number A. What is the force acting on a mass 2m placed as the centroid G of the triangle? Number B. What is the force if the mass at the vertex A is doubled? Take AG equal to BG equal to CG equal to 1 meter. See figure 8.5. Here the figure is shown. A, B, C. All the masses at the vertices are M, 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 and G is the centroid. Okay, G is the centroid of the triangle, and the mass which is placed there is 2m. This is your x-axis, this is your y-axis, right? And this angle between CG and the x-axis is 30 degree. Okay, if this is 30, if you take negative axis this side, then the negative axis and between B also, I mean this GB will be, the angle will be also 30, but it will be negative side. Okay, it will be in the negative side. Part A, the angle between CG and positive x-axis is 30 degree. Okay, this is CG and this is positive x-axis. This angle is 30 degree. The angle between GB and negative x-axis is equal to 30 degree, and the angle between, if you extend this, okay, this x-axis towards this side, so negative x-axis and BG, the angle between negative x-axis and BG will be also 30 degree. The individual forces in vector notation are, okay, I am going to use the universal law of gravitation and apply the force at each individual force. Okay, individual force, that is for G2A, G2B and G2C. Okay, the individual forces we shall write first, and then we'll find the sum total. So first FGA equal to, we apply a force G m1 m2 by r square. Okay, so here G m the force at the mass at vertex A is A, m, and at G is 2m, the centroid. So m is G m, and m1 is m, and m2 is 2m. Okay, m1 m2 by r square. R square is the distance. The distance they have given us to take 1. Okay, they have said that take AG, BG and CG as 1 meter. So 1 square is 1, and this one is, you can say this is y-axis, so it will be the unit vector along the y-axis is j cap. So I have taken as j cap. Okay, now next one is GB. Okay, the force because of between these two particles, or G and B, 2m and m. So this is m1, m2. Okay, and the distance is 1. So GB equal to Gm 2m divided by 1 square is 1. And here the direction will be minus I cap cos 30 minus j cap sin 30. Okay, the force will be, if you draw a line perpendicular, or the x-axis if you complete and the y-axis if you complete, towards this side and this side, and if you take the component of these on the x-axis and y-axis, then it will be written as minus I cos 30, because the angle is 30, right? The angle is 30 and the distance will be cos, angle is 30, so cos 30 will come, and I cap y minus I cap, because this side is positive I cap and this side is negative I cap. Okay, because it is negative x-axis, and similarly y-axis also is towards the below, we are taking negative. So when you take, it will be sin 30 and it will be j cap but negative. Okay, so here written minus j sin 30. Now we write for this one, for CG. For CG angle is 30. So angle is 30, but when you write I cap will be in the same x-axis, right? So it is positive. But when you write j cap, if you write towards this side, okay, when you write towards this side, because y-axis is upward from here below, so it is negative y-axis, so it is minus j. This j is the unit vector in y-axis, but it is on the opposite of y-axis, so negative of y-axis, so minus j sin 30. This is y component, this is x component. Okay, so I cos 30 minus j sin 30. Here both are negative, because both are negative x-axis, and this one is for negative y-axis. By principle of superposition and the law of vector addition, the resultant gravitational force Fr on 2m. Okay, now we have to, the vector sum of all these three forces will give you the resultant. Okay, and for that we have got the principle of superposition and the law of vector addition. So when we add up all three, then you get the force at the point G, that is on the mass 2m. So I write Fr equal to, the resultant Fr equal to Fga plus Fgb plus Fgc equal to, now from all these three you have got 2, 2, 2, right? M into m square, all have got m square, and all have got g. So I am taking common 2g m square. What remains here is j cap. Okay, here remains minus I cos 30 minus j sin 30. Here remains plus I cos 30 minus j sin 30. Okay, so what is remaining I have just written in the bracket. Okay, so j cap minus I cap cos 30 minus j cap sin 30 plus I cap cos 30 minus j cap sine 30. Now here minus I cap cos 30 and plus I cap cos 30, so they will cancel each other. Okay, so what remains here? J cap remains as it is, and here you can see minus j cap sine 30 and minus j sine 30, minus j cap sine 30, so both are negative, both you can add up, so it is 2 times minus 2 times j cap sine 30, and this 2gm square as it is equal to 2gm square, j cap as it is, 2 as it is, this j cap usually we write at the end, so I write here, and sine 30 value is 1 by 2, this 2 you cut, so here you get j minus j gives you 0, so 0 into 2gm square is 0, so the total answer is 0. So the force, the attractive force, resultant attractive force as G is 0. Okay, that G is the centroid of the triangle. At that point, the force, total force is 0. In part B, they have said that if the mass at vertex A is doubled, then f of Ga will give you, only I will change over here, it will be double, so it is m1 will be 2m. So 2m divided by 1 j cap. So this 2 into 2 4, g and m into m is m square j cap. This fgb and fgc will remain the same. Okay, it will not change because they are not changing, no mass is changed, so this remains as it is, so I am not writing it. Now I'll just sum total of this fga and fgb and fgc. Okay, because we have to find the total force, right, the total attractive force, so we have to do the vector sum. So fr equal to fga plus fgb plus fgc equal to, again all have got, here you have got 4gm square. Okay, this one has got, you can, from here it will be 2gm square, here also 2gm square, so we can take common. Okay, so I am taking the common, 2gm square, so what remains here? 2 remains and j cap minus the other thing from here, the bracket, all the bracket values will remain, so minus I cap cos 30 minus j cap sine 30 plus I cap cos 30 minus j cap sine 30. Okay, again you can cancel this, minus I cap cos 30 plus I cap cos 30 cancel, 2gm square as it is, 2 j cap as it is, and this minus I cap sine 30 minus I cap sine 30 is minus 2j, j it is, okay, not I cap, minus j sine 30 minus j sine 30, which gives you minus 2j sine 30. Sine 30 is again 1 by 2, so put the value, so and this, all these values as it is. Okay, no changing here, this 2 as it is, minus 2 as it is, j cap just writing at the end, and sine 30 is 1 by 2, cut this one, so what you get here is minus j, 2j minus j, so this as it is 2gm square, 2j minus j, 2j minus j is j cap, so this value is 2gm square into j cap. So this is j cap means it is towards the j cap means y axis. Okay, towards the y axis, because j cap is the unit vector along the y axis. So that is solution for example 8.2. We'll keep this much for today. Thank you very much.